Hey everyone, it is Joe Nathan here, and I hope you're doing well when you see this. It is August 10th, and this is going to be about a 20-minute video that is going to summarize the life group training we had this past Sunday on August 6th. I know some of you were able to make it there, but a good amount of you guys weren't able to make it there. So for those of you that didn't make it, I want to say that this is something that's going to be mandatory for you guys. We want you guys to sit down and listen to this because it's going to cover the 8 major things we talked about at that training. We're going to talk about our vision for our leaders, our vision for our ministry, our expectations we have for you guys as leaders, a breakdown of the life groups, and then we want to set you guys up for success on leading your groups, and we want to give you practical skill in helping you pastor your life group. So again, for those of you that were at the life group training, you don't have to listen to this. If you were there, you can simply press pause. There's one thing about probably around the 10-minute mark that you could listen to. But for those of you that weren't there, this is mandatory, and I want you to find a comfortable position that you can sit down and listen to this at. I'm going to attach the kind of packet that we gave those leaders so that you can have those as well. Currently, as I'm doing this, my screen is black because I cannot stand looking at myself. I'm going to listen through this afterwards to make sure that I make sense, so bear with me as I get through this. I hate recording myself, but it is needed today. So, a couple weeks ago, Aaron and I and a group of leaders went to summer camp. And at summer camp, there was a moment where the person on stage asked all of the churches there to give it up for their main leader. And when that happened, everyone stood up and started shouting, "Jonathan, Jonathan." All the attention went towards me. And while that was something that was kind of fun because I love the attention, Aaron and I noticed something that for next year we would want to change. We hope that next year at summer camp, when the person on stage says, "Give it up for your main life group leader," we would love for them to shout for their life group leader. We would love for them when it says, "Give it up for your main youth leader," we would love for our students to be shouting, "Joel," or "Dylan," or Rachel, or Billy. We want this upcoming year to give you guys a platform for your students that you guys are their leader. You guys are their pastor. So we want to give you guys, and we want to empower you guys more this upcoming year for you guys to be the leader leading your life group. That you are their pastor. You're the one that's involved in their life, caring for them. You're the one that is hands-on with your students. So for this upcoming year, me and Aaron are going to be intentional with meeting with you guys and empowering you guys to lead your life groups so that you guys are the ones ministering and being hands-on with students. Cool. So that's kind of our vision, I guess, for our leaders, that we want our leaders this upcoming year to step even more into their role as being the pastor for their life group. Our vision statement as a ministry, the direction we want to head in as a youth ministry, is that we want every student to have a person who knows them and a place to belong. That is what we are trying to accomplish as a ministry, that we want every student with a person who knows them and a place to belong. Our purpose statement, which tells why we exist, what we're trying to do, is based around 5 words, and it is: Ignite Youth exists to build lives, to engage junior and senior high students with God's love while challenging them to respond to Christ, and to provide them with a community to belong to that helps uncover their gifts. The 5 words that we want you guys to know is build, engage, respond, belong, and uncover. If at any time you don't know what to do as a life group leader, just try to do one of those 5 words. Try to build a student's life. Try to engage a student. Challenge a student to respond to what God is doing in their life. Make them feel like they belong and help uncover their gifts. So that is our purpose statement, and again, our vision statement is we want every student to feel like someone knows them and they have a place to belong. And our main way of doing that is you guys as life group leaders. You guys are the ones that are responsible for 5 to 8 students that you are hands-on with, that you are ministering to, that you're making them feel like they are known, and you're the one that makes them feel like they belong. A story that has really meant, or a fact, kind of a quote, actually, not even a story or a fact, that's meant a lot to me, is it comes from Maya Angelou. And it says 99% of people won't remember what you say, but they'll remember the person that you were. Our students won't remember many of the sermons. They probably won't remember a lot of things that you say, but they will remember that you were there. So we want to be on our A game when we show up here, that we are being active and reaching and engaging students. So we're going to move on to now page 2 of the leader packet, which is going to kind of go through the job description for Ignite Life Group leaders. So I'm going to kind of read through it and maybe make some remarks on some things, and we'll get going. So the Ignite Life Group leaders' main responsibility is to pastor and shepherd the life group they are assigned to. Life group leaders act as the main point of connection for the life group and serve in spotlight roles in our services. They lead a life group regularly on Wednesdays and serve monthly at our services. So the main job, again, just to reiterate what this just said, the main job of a life group leader is to be the main connection point and shepherd of their life group. It is to serve monthly or weekly every Wednesday at our services, leading a life group, and then it's to serve monthly on a rotation on Sundays at our services. So that is the description of our life group leaders. The expectations we have on you guys, which are some of them are new and some of you guys have heard of before. Here are some of the expectations. We want you guys to have a daily devotional rhythm where you are being with Jesus. This one is huge. If people don't remember much of what we say, they're going to remember the person we were. We need to be in connection, relationship with Jesus so that we are becoming the kinds of people that he wants us to be. For your guys' health and from your guys' being the best minister you can be, and even just for the sake of you and your relationship with God, it is important that you guys have a daily devotional rhythm with Jesus. The second expectation we have for you guys is we want you guys to be the primary connection point and shepherd of your life group. The 5 to 8 students that you are part of your life group, you are their pastor, you are their shepherd, you are the one being involved in their life, being a part of it. Aaron and I will not be hands-on with every student because we want you to be hands-on with them. So you're the primary connection point and shepherd of your life group. The third is that we want you to be present to the needs of students in the larger ministry. So while you are hands-on with the 5 to 8 students, when you come here, just be mindful of the students that you are interacting with. Our fourth expectation is we want you guys to attend all Wednesday services from 6:15 to 9 p.m. So our services are just from 7 to 8:30, but we want you guys here from 6:15 to about 6:30 so that we can have a leader meeting beforehand. This is something that we instilled last year, and I just want to remind us that it's something I struggle with too, but if we can be on time for those meetings, because once our service starts or once we're starting to get hands-on with students, we're kind of entering a battleground where students are going to start sharing stuff, and we want to have a space where we're all on the same page, and we want to create a space before we go to minister with students that we can kind of be prayed up and that we can be ready to engage with students. So we want you guys here from 6:15 to 9. From 8:30 to 9, we want you guys to be available to interact with students after service. Also on top of that, about once to twice a month, we're going to debrief our services. When we start up initially, we're probably going to be doing every other week debriefing, but from about 8:45 to 9, for those 15 minutes, we want to debrief the service. We want to celebrate any good things that happen, and we want to communicate any potential problems that are going to come up. So our fourth, like I said, expectation for you guys is to attend all Wednesday services from 6:15 to 9 p.m. Also with that, if you're going to be absent for a service, it's up to you to be responsible to find a sub. That is something that we want you guys to do this upcoming year. Our fifth expectation is we want you to plan a bi-monthly hangout for your life group outside of services. So a bi-monthly means every other month we want you guys to plan an event for your life group. This event doesn't need to be big. It doesn't need to be like you guys are going out to go paintballing or you're going to throw a party. We just want you guys to create a space every other month outside of services where your students can connect, your whole life you can connect outside of what we're doing on Wednesdays and Sundays. This is done so that you guys could still be seen with your life group leaders as being like the main leader, and it's to give our students a safe space to hang out outside of services. So bi-monthly, every other month, we want you guys to create a hangout for your life group. So something on top of that Aaron and I are going to equip you guys with is each life group for the upcoming year. So from August 2017 to May 2018, each life group is going to have a budget of $150 that you guys can use to for your events and for hanging out with your life group students. You can use all $150 to take everyone to go see a movie or go paintball, or you guys can use that $150 to take students to coffee, to take your life group students to coffee. So each life group is going to have a budget of $150 where you guys can spend. You guys have a budget to use for those hangouts that you guys have with your life groups, or for just meeting with students. So our sixth expectation is we want you guys to plan the flow of what you're going to do on life group nights. So about every month, we're going to have a night where rather than us having a message, we're going to have a short little talk, and then we're going to give you guys 45 minutes to an hour where you guys get to plan what the night's going to look like for your life group. So you guys are in charge of planning the flow for that. We've had leaders take students to go get ice cream. We've had leaders just play a game. We've had leaders just hang out and talk about a subject or a topic. But these nights are awesome and they're great. And an expectation we have is for those nights, you are in charge for planning what the flow looks like for your life group. So our upcoming on August, well, I'll get to that in a second. Our seventh expectation, or I think it's eighth, I forgot. Plan the bi-monthly game that the entire youth group will play with your life group. So now every other month, something that you and your life group get to plan is you guys will plan and lead the game for our life group. This is, again, just giving you guys a space for your group to kind of bond over and gives you guys something to do. Our next expectation is we want you guys, we're going to schedule you guys monthly to serve at our Sunday services, and we want you guys to be here from 10:45 to 12:45. So every month, you guys will be serving at our Sunday services, helping me and helping Aaron. And the big thing is that the reason we will have you guys serving once a month is because on the Sundays when you're not scheduled, we want you guys to be a part of a church gathering, to be a part of a church body. We want to prioritize your guys' health, and it is important for you guys to be coming to church so that you guys can be spiritually, so you guys can hear the word and that you guys get to worship and that you guys get to be in community without the pressure of needing to be a leader. Our next expectation is attend the youth events that are scheduled, and we have a calendar for you guys that I'll talk about briefly at the end, and attend the leader meetings when scheduled. So those are the expectations we have for you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. The commitment that I'm going to be talking to all of you guys individually about is we want you guys to commit from August 16th, 2017 to May 30th, 2018. That is a full school year. And we want you guys to commit to that so that you are, for this whole school year, you are the one that is leading and shepherding your life group students. With that commitment, there's a 7-week midweek break from November 16th to January 10th, where you're not going to be here every week. When that midweek break comes up, you guys get 7 weeks off from serving at our Wednesday services. So you guys get a little break there. So you'll be going serving from August, September, October, and halfway through November, and then from halfway to November, from all of December, you guys get a break to not have to worry about anything, and then we'll start up from January, and we go through January through May. So the organizational relationship is you guys are responsible and are accountable to me and Aaron, and what you can expect from me and Aaron this year is that we're going to support, encourage, and care for you. We will set you up to the best of our abilities to lead your life group well, and then you'll have a calendar of upcoming events and meeting dates, which again I'll cover at the end. Cool, so we've gone over our vision for leaders, our vision, our expectations. We've told you guys that this upcoming year, each life group gets $150 for their life group. So now I want to quickly kind of go over the breakdown of our life groups, and I'll have this written out. So there are going to be 3 junior high groups. We're going to have 1 boy group that is led by Devlin and Mark primarily, and you guys will have the support of Aaron, but Devlin and Mark, you guys are the main leaders of the boy group for junior high. We're going to have 2 girl groups, a 6th and 7th grade girl group led by Leanna, and then an 8th grade girl group led by Billy. So those are our 3 junior high groups. We're going to have 4 high school groups. We're going to have 2 guy groups. The first group is going to be led by Joel and Jason with the support of me. But Joel and Jason, you guys will be the main life group leaders for the 9th and 10th grade boys. And then the 11th and 12th grade boys are going to be led by Jordan and Dylan. And our 2 girl groups, this is going to be a change from what I told you guys on Sunday. Our 9th and 10th grade girls are going to be led by Rachel Justice and Rachel Hull. And then our 11th and 12th grade girls are going to be led by Carsey. So those are our life group breakdowns. And so we're going to keep it moving. We are at 15 minutes to get through the last couple things here. So here on page 3, I have something called Setting You a Life Group Minister Up for Success, that rather than going through, we want you guys to look at and read through. There is some really, really good advice there. It's going to tell you guys how you can be best up for success. We're going to tell you what a Wednesday life group should look like, and then we're going to give some general life group advice. So if you could please, if you haven't, just read through that so that you can have an understanding of what a life group should look like, that you can know how to be set up for success, and you can know some general advice. So the second to last thing that I'm going to cover is we want to give you guys kind of like a skill training so that you guys have a skill that can help you with this upcoming year. So when Aaron and I met to talk about what we wanted the skill portion of this training to look like, or this meeting to look like, we talked about, like, do we want to do a listening skill? Do we want to talk about how to work with people that have traumatic issues? But we thought that the most important thing that we could teach you, or that we could remind you of, is the most important skill you can have is self-care and caring for yourself. We are the most confident, and we do our best work when we are healthy individuals. I had a professor at Vanguard that really emphasized self-care a lot, that we as ministers need to be caring for ourselves. And if people don't remember 99% of what we say, then we need to be in the process of becoming the kinds of people that are healthy and that are the kinds of people that Jesus intends for us to be. So that professor that really emphasized self-care broke down the human person into 5 parts. That we are a spiritual self, an emotional self, a physical self, an intellectual self, and a social self. So we're going to tell you guys how you can care for yourself spiritually, how you can care for yourself emotionally, how you can care for yourself physically, intellectually, and socially. So if you want to look on with me, I will be on page 4 of that leader packet. So yes, the most important skill for you to develop is self-care. You are the best you when you are healthy, confident you. So the first part we want to talk about is caring for yourself spiritually. So to care for yourself spiritually, something you need to be aware of is you need to be aware of doing more for God instead of being with God. In John 15, Jesus says, "Abide in me, make your home in me, for apart from me, you can do nothing." The most important thing we can do is be in a relationship with Jesus where we are learning who we are, that we're learning that we're loved by Jesus, and we are growing as a disciple of Jesus. So the 2 basic things that you can do to care for yourself spiritually is, first of all, have a devotional rhythm that is independent of what you do for God. The biggest thing that you're going to face in ministering to our students, and I think the biggest thing you'll face in ministry, is that your identity is going to be attacked over and over again. When Jesus went to the desert, he was tempted by Satan. And each temptation that Satan began with is, he said, if you are the Son of God, do X. If you are the Son of God, do Y. If you are the Son of God, do Z. Jesus' identity was attacked. So in ministry, our identity is going to be attacked. Therefore, we need to have a daily devotional rhythm where we are reminding ourselves, we are centering ourselves in the fact that we are a child of God and Jesus loves us, and we are learning from him how to do life. So first one, again, is have a daily devotional rhythm that is independent of what you do for God. And secondly, be a part of a gathering where you can worship and hear the Word. Second thing is caring for yourself emotionally. There are 12 things that we think that can help for caring yourself emotionally, which there's a list there, which if it feels wrong, don't do it. Say exactly what you mean. Don't be a people pleaser. Trust your instincts. Never speak bad about yourself. Don't give up on your dreams. Don't be afraid to say no. Don't be afraid to say yes. Be kind to yourself. Let go of what you can't control. Stay away from drama and negativity, and love. If you do all 12 of those things, which are very practical, your emotional self will be healthy and you'll be able to do the work that you feel like the Lord's wanting you to do. The third thing is you need to care for yourself physically. When you exercise and when you are eating properly and when you are resting, endorphins are released from your brain that help you manage stress. So caring for yourself physically is important to your health as a person. So there are 5 things that we think are important for caring for yourself. Get sleep and rest. Get 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night. Exercise 3 to 4 times a week. Eat healthy. Stretch and massage, and be hydrated. So care for yourself physically. Care for yourself intellectually. When your mind grows, we as people grow, and we as people also become more healthy as persons. So engage in healthy debates and learn different perspectives. It is good for your mind to learn what life is like in someone else's shoes. It's good to also learn someone else's perspective. Learn new things regularly and read articles, books, and audio lessons. All of those things will grow your mind, which will make you more into a healthy person. And the last thing is care for yourself socially. You are created to be in relationships with others. When God made the world, in Genesis 1 and 2, it says that He created light and He said that it was good. Then He created the sun, moons, and stars and He said it was good. He created water and land. He said it was good. God went through all of these things. He created 6 things, and each time He said, it is good. There is one time in Genesis 2 where God creates something, and He says, this is not good. It says, when God created man, He saw that he was alone, and God said, it is not good that man should be alone. You are created to be in relationship, not just with God, but with others. So it's important that you are being in relationship with others. So there are 3 things that you can do practically to care for yourself socially. The first one is don't isolate yourself. Have a group of friends that you can share life with. And the last one, I was once told by a person at Manners to have a group of friends that I can hang out with that I always don't talk about ministry to. It is important that we don't always talk about ministry because there are so much else that is a part of our lives that if we don't talk with people about, if we don't interact with people about, then our lives just become centered around one thing. So it is important that we talk with people about things other than ministry. So we want to emphasize, and me and Aaron are going to be on top of our game of reminding you guys to care for yourself spiritually, to care for yourself emotionally, to care for yourself physically, intellectually, and socially. So care for yourself. So to end this quickly, on page 5, we have the life group breakdown at the top. We have a breakdown of our events. We have a sermon series calendar. And then at the bottom, we have something for a midweek break. And that covers pretty much everything that we are going to be doing this year. So to wrap this up, the last thing I would say is we are so happy that you guys are on board for doing this with us. And we want to just remind you guys of our vision that we're trying to give students a place to belong. We want you guys to be the shepherd and pastor of your life groups. So to close this, on this upcoming Wednesday, we're going to be having a life group night where each of you guys will figure out the flow of what you want your life groups to look like. What Aaron and I would desire from you guys in that is we want you guys to plan the flow of the night, but we would also at some point want you guys to share your story with the students that are in your life group so that they can get to know who you are. So that is that. I'm sorry if this was a little all over the place, but again, we just talked about 8 things. We talked about our vision. We talked about our expectations for you as a life group. We talked about that you guys now get a budget of $150. We gave you the breakdown of life groups. We want you guys to read how you can be set up for success as a leader. We talked about caring for yourself, and then we just talked about the calendar here. So that is pretty much everything we covered at the life group training, and I hope it made sense. And yeah, that's everything I got to say. I feel kind of tired because I just talked a bunch. Hopefully I didn't talk too fast. If you have any questions, feel free to call me or message me. Over the next couple of days, I'll be reaching out to each one of you guys to see where you're at with the commitment, and just to remind you that we are doing a life group night this upcoming Wednesday on August 16th. So that's all I got to say, guys. You're awesome. Love you all, and I'm looking forward to leading with you guys this upcoming year. So I'll TTYL, peace, and God bless. Deuces.